Hi everybody, Matt and Paul here from Fiduciary Wealth, here with another video stroke webinar for you. And today we'll be talking about FX, foreign currency exchanges for those moving to living in Spain. And so Paul, I've got a question for you. Why are we making this video? Because somebody's selling their house in the UK, they want to bring the money to Spain, they can just go to their bank, exchange their money, move it across, job done. Is that what they should do?
No.
Okay, video over. Paul says no. Tell us why then.
Well, I mean, my background was in FX when I started in financial services, and banks take a massive cut, more than ever before, in terms of exchange rates. And very often, um, the charges around 3% for exchanging your currency. So let's provide a practical example for the listeners. So you move to Spain and you buy a 500,000 villa, and the bank charges you 3% for converting that. How much is 3% on 500,000? Is that 15,000?
Correct, yes.
That's a hell of a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
that you're paying the bank. And if you deal with with an FX broker, then that could be reduced by a third. So you end up paying significantly less. It could be 5,000, something like that. That's a massive saving of £10,000, because they provide much more competitive rates. The service is personal because they want to retain your business. All they do is foreign exchange. The banks are mostly all quoted companies, yeah, listed on a stock exchange. They have to satisfy shareholders and they have to maximize their revenues. They're not just charging you 3% and in some cases more. Then they charge you a transaction fee on top of that, as if they hadn't made enough money. And if you deal with a FCA regulated foreign exchange company in Spain, then there would be no fees and the actual exchange rate would be significantly higher. And the same applies for international money transfers, for that matter. In the past, it really makes me laugh because 30, 40 years ago, when I started in banking, it was I still recall we were just moving from telex to Swift, and you could do a bank transfer for £25. And nowadays the banks, again, because they become so greedy, they charge a percentage fee on the value of the transaction, when actually the effort involved in making a money transfer, an international payment, is exactly the same, whether it's 10 million or 100,000. The 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 resources that go into an international payment is exactly the same, but they charge you a percentage of the value, of the monetary value of that transfer. So that can be extremely high. The cost could be exceptionally high compared to a um, forex broker in Spain, which is FCA regulated, where they charge minimal fees for transferring. So, you transfer your funds, or convert, X amount back into sterling or vice versa, make an international money transfer to another bank account. The costs are negligible.
Yeah.
And then there's another aspect to consider. The banks are not just happy charging you a percentage of the monetary value of that transfer. Then they say, "Oh, we've got daily limits." So you want to transfer, say, 500,000. Oh, we can only do 20,000 a day, and then the minimum fees kick in. So when you start, between the forex and then the money transfer, because let's say you convert 500,000, this hypothetical client that is converting £500,000 to euros to buy his villa. Once he converts, then he has to make a transfer to the to the lawyer representing the seller, right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine the double whammy. First, the 3% minimum, then the transaction fees they charge on top of that, and then the money transfer that you can only do in tranches of X. I mean, at the end of the day, you've probably lost the better part of 30 grand before you start.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, that is daylight robbery. So you
yeah.
really have to put yourself in the hands of a professional forex broker, really good forex broker that has its offices not just in Spain but also in the UK. They are FCA regulated, so that gives you some security and some assurances that you're dealing with a bona fide firm that has your interest at heart, and they've got best practices. But it would be foolish for anyone to engage with a bank when you've got good forex brokers out there. Not all of them, but there's a handful that are completely reliable and trustworthy, and they're going to give you a very good rate. And you're going to make massive savings, money that you're going to pay to the banks that then goes as a dividend to the shareholders. Why would you do that?
Mm.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I like how passionate you are about this one, Paul, as well, because we're not a FX broker. So this is not us said, use our services, we can do this for you. No, we're saying, look, we know the market. And you're right, it's not all brokers. I think we've both seen a few kind of horror stories where FX brokers, because it's easy for them to kind of disguise the fees a little bit. They put it on the spread. Maybe the rate isn't as good as you say, the transfer charges, it's a bit here. So for those who are maybe less financially savvy or want to use their time for other stuff, it's easy to do that. So yeah, I think a reliable broker, which you know, it's another one of the services we mentioned in a prior video that when we work with individuals or couples or families moving to Spain, we want to help them with everything, really cover the whole picture. And this is a good example of that. We're saying, look, we're not brokers, but we can introduce you to this company or that company, and we're very sure that they will look after them because we would never pass someone to say, okay, maybe use these because that reflects badly on us as well. So, yeah,
But we've sat on both sides of the fence, Matt. We are both ex-bankers.
yeah,
I happen to have worked managing FX for 15 years. I know the spreads were significant then, but nothing compared to what they are now. So we are looking at this purely because we believe that we can embed more value to the client and we can save them money and we can ensure that they don't get, stitched up by the banks. We have got nothing to gain other than making sure that the end client is in good hands and they're dealing with a respectable, trustworthy, preferably FCA regulated forex broker in Spain that's going to take care of their affairs, not just today, but you know, during their whole, the rest of their lives in Spain. That they can give a quick call, they've got the personal service, they've got a point of contact and an account manager. They're going to take care of their forex needs for the rest of their lives, and that is surely better than engaging with a bank and being ripped off.
yeah. And it's a relatively easy process because I've been through it myself actually. And people think, oh, I go to my bank, I know my bank, it's easy to do, or I've got open an account with a broker, but it's very easy to do. And of course the brokers want the business, so they're going to make it as easy as possible for you. So as long as you're not a money launderer, they're more than happy to help and ease that process. But I think we make this video, this one in particular is because we've seen what's happened to people, as you say, from both sides as well. And it's for me, a relatively easy way people can save a significant amount of money just by picking that right option for their FX. So
And if I may just say, Matt, we had a
yeah,
client, as you know, relocating from UK back to their native country, to Holland, to the Netherlands, and they sold their UK property
Yeah.
For 1 million, they would have been charged 30,000 plus fees, and they ended up paying, I don't know, I think it was just under 5,000.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. It
I
was
mean,
an incredible saving.
that's a saving of 25,000 plus the fee, plus the transaction fee, and then the money transfer that would have gone in tranches. So, start adding up, and that client could have ended up, anywhere between 30 and 50K on 1 million. That's, £50,000. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
need to do that. Get in
Absolutely.
touch with us.
Yeah. Yeah. If that's, you're going through that process, or you will be going through that process, and you want someone you can trust, let us know. We can make an introduction if that's what you want. Perfect. Well, it was great. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoy the rest of our videos. My usual reminder, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And feel free to like, share, and any ideas you have for future videos, drop us a comment. We'll be happy to look at those for you. But for now, thank you and goodbye.